Adi Shankaracharya wrote many texts. One of them, which is quite popular, is called Vivekachudamani, the crest jewel of discernment. In that, in the 156th verse of that Vivekachudamani, Shankaracharya says, Pani padadi man deha natma vyangyepi jivanat tattat shaktehe anashascha na niyamyo niyamakah. This body, which consists of pani, arms, padaha, legs, this cannot be our true self, Atma, na Atma. Because even when these arms or legs are vyangye api, even when they are not there, a person continues to live. We see that people who do not have legs, who do not have arms, they continue to live in the world. That means this cannot be our true nature. There is something more than the limbs. And tattat shaktehe anashaha cha. Also, the functions of the living being. A person eats, drinks, sleeps, breathes, does everything even if one does not have legs and the hands. So even if these limbs are not there, a person continues to do these things. That means the person's true nature is not the legs and the hands. And na niyamyaha niyamakah. And also the body, if it is controlled by somebody else, cannot be the Atman or self, which is the ruler of everybody. That means Sri Ramakrishna gives an example that a person went to an emperor for asking something, and when that person went to the emperor and was waiting, he saw that the emperor was praying to Lord. Then the person said, oh, that means this emperor is not the ultimate person, because there is somebody to whom this emperor is praying. So he is not the super boss. There is a boss greater than this boss. So instead of praying to this emperor, let me go and pray to that boss. That is the idea. Here also, that if the body is subject to somebody's rule, or body can be ruled by somebody else, that means this arms, legs, etc. are controlled by somebody else, then that means that cannot be our true nature, because the true nature should be something which is super boss, which is not controlled by anybody but controls everyone. Then Shankaracharya says, Deha tad dharma tad karma tad avasthadi sakshinah satah eva swata siddham tad vailakshanyam atmanah. Body, Atman, our true nature. Our true nature is vailakshanyam, is different, is completely different from the body, deha, and also tad dharma, its characteristics. What are the characteristics of body? There are 6 characteristics of the body. It takes birth, it comes into existence, it grows, it takes different forms, modifications, then it decays, and then it dies. It decays and dies. So these are the 6 modifications of a body. And the characteristics of a body. Suppose there is cold, your body starts shivering. Suppose there is heat, your body starts sweating. These are the characteristics of a body. And if you don't take food, you will feel hungry. And if you take more food, you will feel full, etc. this body and also the characteristics of this body is not your true nature. Tat karma, whatever the body does is also not your true nature. Then tad avasthadi, also its states are not your true nature. What are the states of body? When you are young, when you are a small person, so that is your childhood, that, and then when you become young, your youth, then old age or middle age, etc. These are the different states of the body. That is also not your true nature. But only a person, swata siddham, one who does not need any support to be existing. How does the tube light, how can you see the tube light? By the electricity. By the tube light itself you can see the tube light. Suppose this is dark and you can't see the tube light, and then you switch on the tube light, you see the tube light. But from whose electricity or light do you see the tube light? Of that light itself. Similarly, Atman is self-revealing. Atman can be understood by its own light. If somebody else were to put light on the tube light and show you like torch or something, then that would be dependent on somebody else's light. But Atman or your true nature cannot be shown by somebody else. You have to yourself see, or you means Atman has to itself show itself. So it is self-evident. It is not dependent on anything. And also it is Sakshinaha. It is the witness of whatever goes on in this world, whatever goes on in our lives, in our minds, and also whatever we do using our body and mind. That is the witness. And Shankaracharya says, Shalya Rashi Mamsa Liptaha Malapurnaha Ati Kashmalaha Katham Bhavet Ayam Vetta Swayam Etat Vilakshanaha. He says people think that they are the body. Most of the people, they think that they are the body. So what do? Because we are completely convinced that we are the body, so we try to make ourselves better and better bodily, because we are convinced that we are the body. So we, apart from taking care of minimum hygiene, what we do, we go to the market and purchase all kinds of cosmetics and put it on our body, and so that there is this good smell comes, that there is good look comes, etc., etc. All these things we do. Why? Because we think that we are the body. And further, we take so many photographs also, and then we put it on the internet sites, social networking sites like Facebook, etc. So, or we also send email to all people, these photographs of mine, look how beautiful I am. Because you, who are you? You are the body. That is the conviction you have got. And Shalya Rashi, but what is the body? It is a Rashi, it is a group of Shalya, means bones. It's a group of bones, Mamsa Lipta, which is covered with flesh. And Malapurna, it is full of rubbish, it is full of filth. And Ati Kashmala, and it is highly impure, Kashmala. How can it? Katham, how? Bhavet, Ayam Bhavet, Veta, Swayam Etat Vilakshanaha. How can this be Veta, the knowing Atman, which is Vilakshanaha, which is different from body? So, if you say that you are the body, how can the Atman be the body, which is different from the body itself, and which is knower of everything, and which is self-existent? It does not depend on anything. But this we see that you have bones, and bones are covered with flesh, and this flesh is also covered in all dirt, and you need so many things for the body. If one meal you don't get, you will be tired, and if one day you don't get meal, then that is the end of it, and then you need so many other things people need. So body is so much demanding, it has got so many demands. How can it be the Atman? Then again Shankaracharya says, Tvag mamsa medaha asti purisha rashaha Rashau aham matim mooda janah karoti vilakshanam veti vicharashilo nija swarupam paramartha bhutam. Mooda janah, those who are foolish, what do they think? They have this thought, mati. What is the thought? That tvag means skin, mamsa means flesh, medah means fat, asti means bones, purisha means filth, rashi, that all these things, that I am a group of, a foolish person thinks that that person is a group of skin, flesh, fat, bones and rubbish. And while the person who is vicharashila, a person who is a thinking person, a man of discernment, that person thinks, or that person knows veti, that nija swarupam paramartha bhutam vilakshanam, that one's true nature is paramartha bhutam, it is the highest reality, and it is vilakshanam, it is different from the body. So in all these verses, Shankaracharya is again and again telling us the same thing, that we are not this body. Our true nature is not this body. How does it help us in daily life? If we think we are not the body, how is it going to help? Just imagine, for example, if a soldier was there who did not think at all that he or she is a body. If a soldier thinks that she is not the body, or he is not the body, and goes to fight on the border, say, and there are people from across the border who are shooting at the soldier, and if the soldier is completely devoid or completely bereft of this idea that I am the body, then what amount of energy or enthusiasm or courage that soldier will possess. So this is an extreme example of a soldier, but this can be true for everybody. What does a normal person need to make oneself depressed is just a headache. A normal headache, and a person says, oh, that's all, kya hoga, main to mar gaya, mar gayi, etc. Only one headache, that is sufficient. Amar kichu bhal lagche na, amar ar hobe na, etc., etc. These persons go on lamenting, because now this whole world becomes what? Whole world becomes a very bad place to live in. That is why all Bollywood songs which are philosophical are all love failure songs. See, all love failure songs are all philosophical, because once you get some hurt, then immediately you become philosophical. The person doesn't want to cook, so suddenly in the morning the person gets up and says, no, I don't like, this whole life is so bad, etc. That happens. Why? Because we think ourselves to be the body. Little pain in the body, little fever, little headache puts us down. But if we can think that we are not the body, then there is no limit to what we can do. And there is a further step in that, that is, if you can think that you are not the mind, then there is no limit at all for what you can do. Even materially speaking, what you can accomplish, because you are not bound by the thought that you are the body and the mind. So sometimes somebody scolds you, you feel bad, but that is the mind, that is not your true self. Sometimes somebody praises you, you feel good, but that again is the mind. If you can think like that, then it will be so helpful in even mundane matters. That is what Shankaracharya is saying, that your true nature is not body. And of course in spiritual life, we have to understand this. Even if one is a devotee or a follower of the knowledge path, if a person thinks that one is not a body but the child of God, or one thinks that I am not the body but Atman, then that person can actually practice spiritual exercises. Otherwise it is highly difficult or almost impossible. Deho aham ityeva jadasya buddhihi dehe cha jive vidushah tu aham dihi Viveka Vijnanavato Mahatmanah Brahma Aham Iti Eva Matihi Sadatmani. A person who is stupid or foolish thinks that Aham Deham Jadasya Buddhihi. A person who is Jada means like inert, like a stone or without any consciousness. That person thinks that I am Aham Deha. I am the body. I am the body. So people, they go to great extents to keep their body in good shape. Like when somebody is young, they are almost always they are running after 6 packs. Then when somebody becomes more than 50, their pack actually becomes 6, but not like 6 like this, but like this 6. There are like 6 folds like tire or something. So they then are trying to make it less. Then there are so many surgeries. There is this liposuction, that suction, etc. People go. Then face also. Anyway, they will keep their face like that, grouch, like that, never smiling. But still they will do cosmetic surgery for face. Botox they will do or some talks. All these things they keep on doing. But one day, what will happen? Everything will go. Either it is going to be electric crematorium or it is going to be the regular crematorium. Regular crematorium nobody uses nowadays. They use. Oh. You have experience? Oh, sorry. No, I mean your own experience you don't have. Not yet. So like if somebody could come and say, I used myself. So
एक ही बार तो होगा एक्सपीरियंस
होगा
एक ही बार तो होगा
तो कहाँ होगा एक्सपीरियंस तब तो आप नहीं रहे
जाना करते हैं
An interesting incident, I used to just jokingly say that people may take selfie when dying. So now it is अब ऐसा जमाना है that people will take selfie even while dying, that I am dying. So I just jokingly used to say, some time back here some persons came, one family came, and they had 2 daughters. One is an air hostess. So I just told her also this thing. I said, no Swamiji. In 2008, she was traveling in an international flight. She was one of the air hostesses, and it never happens, but in that flight somehow that cabin pressure came down. So that mask falls, and they told, as they tell, that put on your mask. First you put on your mask and then help others, etc. So everybody started getting up and reaching for their bags. So she said, why are you going? They asked, why are you getting up and reaching for your bags? Put on the mask. I said, no, we want to take the phone because phone is in the bag. So we want to take so that we can take the selfies. So in 2008 itself, it was there. So people even while dying, they want to take a photograph. So how I am dying? You see, now I am dying. That is what everybody always thinks about oneself to be the body. And that is a foolish person's notion. Dehe cha jive vidushaha tu aham dihi. And also a person who is vidusha, who thinks oneself or who is a book learned person, one who has learned lot of things, a pandit, a scholar, that person thinks of oneself as something in between, something like mixture, body and soul. So like there are many people, they say, मेरी आत्मा इस शरीर में बैठी है. So you cut, doctors cut and see. Oh, how many doctors are there here? No. So doctors cut and see, and they see no atma inside the sharir. But that's what people think. So that is a wrong idea, because in the body there is no atman. And then viveka vijnanavata mahatmanah, people who have got the knowledge, vijnana, realization, and also who are mahatmanah, who are sages, who are great people, and also who are Vivekavatah, those who possess discrimination, discernment of what is correct, what is wrong. Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka, what is correct, what is wrong. Those people what they do, they look upon the eternal Atman, they look upon Atman, Sadatmani, Brahma Aham Ityeva Matihi. They say Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. They have this idea that I am Brahman alone. Means that which is the ultimate reality, that is me. And there is no difference between me and ultimate reality. Which kind of people have this kind of idea? This kind of idea is there in people who have realized the ultimate truth, who have realized God. Sri Ramakrishna says that the ultimate goal of human life, human birth, is to realize God. That is the ultimate goal. So a person who has realized this, that person knows that I am not the body and I am not the mind. So Shankaracharya says, what we have to do? Atra atma buddhim tyajamoda buddhe twang mamsa medo asti purisha rashau sarvatmani brahmani nirvikalpe kurushva shantim paramam bhajasva. So Shankaracharya says that Muda Buddhe, whenever we listen or read something like this, we say, all people are all foolish. I am reading this, so I am so intelligent. So let us remember that all people here are, nobody has realized the truth in this room. So everybody is a foolish person. So all of us are fools, stupid fools. So Shankaracharya says, Muda Buddhe, O foolish person, Atra Atma Buddhi Tyaja, give up, Tyaja, give up Atma Buddhi, the idea that you, the Atra means that this body is Atman, this body is your true nature. Give up this idea, Tyaja, give up this idea. And this you should not do when you are like going to die. This you should do, what is your age?
36.
36. You should have done 10 years back. But anyway, so this you should do when you are young. When you are young. At that time you should give up this idea that you are the body. Twag means skin. Mamsa, flesh means, mamsa means flesh. Medah, fat. Asti, again bones. Purisha, rubbish. Rashav, all this bundle of skin, flesh, fat, bones and rubbish, filth. Don't identify yourself with this. Stop identifying yourself with this and identify with what? Sarvatmani Brahmani Nirvikalpe. Identify yourself with Brahmani, absolute Brahman or God. And God is there. Where is God? Sarva Atmani. The God is the self of all. In Gita, what does Sri Krishna says? Sutre Manigana Iva. Prota Jagat Sakshini. I am the witness of the entire world, universe. And I am just like, I am there in every being. Just like a pearl, what you call thread, goes through all the pearls in a garland, in a mala or a necklace. The pearl, so many pearls are there and the thread goes through all the pearls. So, Sutre Manigana Iva. So that Manigana Sutra Iva. Just like in money or pearl, you have this thread. Just like that, I am all pervading. So I am the self of all. Sarvatmani, Brahmani and Nirvikalpe. Who has no, there is no second and there is no alternative. There is nothing there. There is only God or only Brahman. So you just think of yourself like that and bhajasva and attain paramam shantim and attain supreme peace. By thinking like that, you attain supreme peace. That is what Shankaracharya says. So why do people come to religion? They come to religion to get rid of suffering. To get rid of suffering. We get suffering by three causes. One is by, there are three types of dukkha. Adi Daivika, that is when there are tsunami, earthquake, etc., flood, then there is dukkha, there is suffering. Then Adi Bhautika, that is when other people, other living beings, they create some problem. Then there is Adi Atmika, that is your own suffering, your body or your mind creates suffering. So all this suffering we want to get rid of completely, not for just one moment. You have a fever, you take some medicine like paracetamol and your fever is gone. But then again that fever will come. So how to get rid of the suffering? By getting rid of the attachment to the idea of I and mine, ahankara mamakara, that I am there and it is mine. If you get rid of these ideas, then you will get rid of suffering. And Shankaracharya in the next verse says Dehendriyadau asati brahmoditam vidvan ahamtam na jahati yavat tavanna tasyasti vimukti varta api astu esha vedanta nayanta darshi. So a person who is vidwan, a person who has studied so many books, a person who has learned things from the book, till that person yavat na jahati dehendriya adau brahmah uditam asati yavat na jahati. Uditam asati brahmah yavat na jahati. That means a person who does not give up the delusion or the ignorance which comes out of thinking of oneself as body and the senses or organs. Until and unless a person gives up this wrong idea that one is the body and the sense organs, until and unless that person gives up this idea, what happens? Tavanna tasyasti vimukti varta. Till that person is, there is no question of any salvation or liberation for that person. Mukti. Till then there is no question of any mukti. What is mukti? Complete stopping of birth and death. So you take repeated birth and repeated death, and then you again and again you come to this world. You take birth and you die again and again. And when that stops, that is called mukti. And that mukti will not happen unless you think yourself as body and the sense organs. And even if Vedanta Naya means the path, Naya means path of Vedanta, even if that person may be antardarshi, even if this person may be completely expert in the path of Vedanta. What is Vedanta? There are 6 philosophical systems in India which follow the Vedas. They are called Astika Darshana. So in that there is Nyaya Vaisheshika, Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Nyaya Vaisheshika, and Uttara Mimamsa and Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. So this Uttara Mimamsa is called Vedanta, in which broadly there are 3 classifications: Dvaita, Advaita, Dvaita, and Advaita, Vishishta Dvaita, and Dvaita. Now here Shankaracharya says that this Vedanta philosophy, even if a person is completely expert in this, if you go to any big university, you will find that there is a department of philosophy. Across the world, you will find also that there is a department of, within that department of philosophy, there is a section for Asian philosophies or Indian philosophy, and there will be so many professors who are expert in Shankaracharya's Advaita Vedanta. But what do? They get this, and then whenever they get some chance, they will say, I will go to that country to give a lecture, I will go to this country to give a lecture. They give lecture on Upanishads. They give lecture on Brahma Sutras, etc. of Shankaracharya's commentaries of Shankaracharya. They give lecture on Vivekananda. They give lecture on all these people. But what are they looking at? They are looking at the money they get out of this lecture, the fame they get out of it, the lecture. They are bothered about how to live properly, happily. So they would have written so many, they would have done PhDs and they would have written so many papers on Advaita Vedanta and all. But they are just like, Sri Ramakrishna says, they are just like those vultures or those kites which fly high up in the sky. But their sight is where? It is on the dead body. They want to eat that dead body. So that is how people are. You study so much, but not everybody becomes a Vidyasagar. Because you study so many things and you, what is your intention? To just make money out of it. So your idea is always on the body and mind. So Shankaracharya says, even if a person is expert in Advaita Vedanta, even if a person is expert in Vedanta philosophy, till the person thinks oneself as body and mind, that person will not get any mukti. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.